Hello miners, it's Most Wanted here, and I want to talk a little bit about player-run corporations. Player-run corporations offer a whole host of benefits to players of all skill levels, and I'm not just talking about benefiting them ISK-wise, but it benefits them informationally wise. The game is so big and it takes so much time to learn that it really helps to have a group there that, you know, some of the members played long enough that they have all the answers that you need for the simple questions that you're going to be asking. So I really think it behooves a lot of players to think about joining a player-run corporation. 4361. Oh, can't jettison yet. So I'm here in another station of the system, and I've got my little MTU over here, mobile tractor unit. And since I'm not in a corporation, well, I'm in a corporation, but I don't have an Orca pilot sitting in the belt with me. I have a 15-kilometer range, 1777 M3 per minute yield. I'm still doing better than a Mackinac pilot without boosts. You know, I'm not going to be doing the same yield as that coveter over there. That coveter is sitting in a nice little fleet there with this Orca buddy and a Miasmos there. And then, what is this, a Hulk? Yeah, and a Hulk. They're going to get way more yield than me. Way more. You'd be surprised how much more yield that Hulk pilot is getting than I am right now. I could probably show you too. I'll show you what the Orca or the coveter is going to get above me. So, but I'm able to earn some ISK. I'm able to do it solo. I know enough about the game that none of this kind of surprises me. So I don't have a lot of questions when it comes to how to play the game and things like that. But players that don't know have lots of questions, and it's really difficult to get good quality straight answers unless they join a player-run corporation where they've got players that have been playing the game for a while that know what they're doing. So my ore hold is getting a little bit full. I'll go ahead and jet it. Oh, not that much. No, shoot. So I'm using the calculator, and I forgot how much I've jettisoned. It's 4,700? I think it was 4,700. So I'm using the calculator, and just every time I jettison ore, I mark down how much I jettisoned, because my little MTU there can only hold 27,000 M3. So I'm kind of forced to try and keep track, otherwise I may accidentally jettison more than can fit into the MTU. Then there'll be a jet cannon out there that would potentially be something someone would be interested in trying to steal, and while they're there they might shoot my MTU. So I try to keep it nice, simple, and clean, and I don't drop more ore into space than my MTU can handle, so I just use the calculator. Of course, if you're mining in a group and you've got an Orca and you've got a Miasmos that can empty the Orca's Corp hangar, then, you know, that's not really an issue. Don't worry too much about how much you can offer a corporation, especially one that's dedicated to mining and has really good mining boosts, because you'll be able to offer plenty, and the corporation will be able to offer plenty to you. You just have to, you know, give them a chance. The knowledge is probably the most valuable thing, but when it comes down to mining, you're going to earn more ISK for your time and effort by being in a corporation that's mining, especially one that's large, active, and might potentially have ships out there that are going to help out miners. So I want to show you a little bit about the Orca. The Orca, a good max fit Orca is what I'm looking at here. They're going to have a mining foreman mine link, which the mine link by itself without the Orca would give a 15% yield boost to everyone inside the fleet, assuming they could be sitting inside of a mining barge or a Venture or a Hulk, and as long as they're in fleet and they've got they're in squad commander or wing commander or fleet commander, they'll be able to give the entire fleet a 15% yield increase without the Orca. Now with the Orca and max Orca skills, they're going to be able to reduce your cycle time by 32%. So your cycle time is going to be reduced by a third. Normally your cycle time is 180 seconds, 3 minutes. It's going to reduce it down to about 120 seconds, 121 seconds. That's pretty big. That means the cycles are going to be shorter, and with that implant, that you're going to get more yield per strips. So your strips are going to yield more, and they're going to have shorter cycle time. The combination of the two is going to increase crap. It's like 5,200, I'm guessing. The combination of the two is going to increase your yield per minute per hour. So let me show you what else it's going to offer you. To overcome that reduced cycle time, there's going to be more cap stress on your ship. So the harvester capacitor efficiency goes ahead and takes care of that. You have 32% reduction in cycle time, but you have a 32% reduction in capacitor use, so it balances out. And then here's the big one here. This one's awesome. This one's a 73% increase in your strip miner and miner range. So a miner has a default range of 10 kilometers, and a strip miner has a default range of 15. And since I'm not in a fleet, then my range is 15. But if I was in a fleet with a max boost Orca, then my range would be 26 kilometers. So it would go up by 11 kilometers. And if you don't have good targeting skills, long range targeting, if you don't have that trained, you aren't going to be able to lock as far as you're going to be able to mine use your strip miners for. You probably only be able to lock out to like 16 or so kilometers, but you won't be able to make much use of that until you train your long range targeting skills. Which is kind of funny, but that's just a lapse in skills that you'll be able to train without too much difficulty. So let me show you what the actual effect is on a mining ship. The Covetor is the second best yield in the game, and this is, as far as I can tell, the best yield numbers you can get on a Covetor without Orca boosts or Rorqual boosts or putting in some hardware to increase your yield. So we've got mining laser upgrade 2s, strip miner 2s, we've got some mining drone 2s, and then we've got some drone mining augmenters, and then a processor overclock to reduce the CPU usage here, because we're just about maxed. This fit doesn't require any hardwares for CPU, but you're unlikely to be able to fit this as a low SP mining barge pilot. What you're probably going to have to do is start replacing the drone mining augmenters with processor overclockers. And what I would do is I would go ahead and download EFT. It's a free program. You can create a brand new character, give it a name, then you hit the API skill import, and then you've got this link here. You click the link, you log in, and then you can generate your own key and verification code. You place that in here, then it'll instantly import. So when you scroll down to your character's name, for instance Gentaki, then you see some of the things kind of changed. So Gentaki, her CPU isn't as good as a max level 5. So we got 299, and then 297. So an all level 5 would be able to make a better fit, but for my tune it fits without an implant, which is awesome. But you can put your skills in, build a fit like this, figure out if you need to drop more of the drone mining augmenters for processor overclockers, because rigs, once you fit them, you can't just pull them off. And using something like EFT will mean you'll be able to play around with the fit using your skills without potentially wasting a bunch of expensive rigs. So our ore hold is full. No big deal. We'll just jettison it. Alright, so the I'm kind of accidentally showing you the Orca bonus. You didn't see that. So the yield is 1777 M3 per minute. That's how much you're going to get with an Orca. I'm sorry, that's what you're going to get with a Coveter, all maxed out. Now, if you can give yourself boosts from an Orca pilot, watch this, 2759. So from 1777 to 2759. And if we go to the calculator, 2759 divided by 1777, you're going to get 155% increase in yield. So 55% more than you would normally get in the asteroid belt by yourself. That's huge. Not only that, you don't have to move as much. You can do like this guy is doing over here. You see he's pretty close. If I get the angle right. See a little triangle there, and he's pretty close to that triangle. That means he's able to mine out to 26 kilometers or so, and he's taking full advantage of it. He's able to mine that whole corner of the asteroid belt from one location. So if he was jet can mining, or he was mining directly into Orca, then the whole band of brothers don't have to move around the asteroid belt. They could just do it from that one location, and that's pretty sweet. So that's a huge benefit to being able to use an Orca. Most of the time you're going to be mining into the Orca, or you're going to be jet can mining, and the Orca will scoop your cans, and then you'll do this as a Corp effort. They'll have some way of tracking how many jet cans or how many M3 you mined, or they might at the end calculate what your potential yield was, and then figure on how much the ISK value of the ore that was mined during the op, and then they would pay out based on what your potential yield was for it during that entire op. So, you know, in that way it would be relatively fair. What you would get though is you'd get probably about, they're going to ask for about 18% of the ore based on that ore's mineral value before you do anything with it. So if you're going to reprocess yourself and you had perfect reprocessing skills, more than likely you're going to lose 5% to the station, because you're not going to have perfect standings with the station. You're going to lose about 3% if you don't have marketing skills, if you go to sell those minerals. And of course it's going to take time for those minerals to sell. They're likely to give you ISK, you know, within a day of that op. Hopefully by the time the op is done and they've spent some time calculating, then before you log off you'll have some ISK in your wallet. Okay. And 18% might seem like a lot, but you know, they're going to lose about 8% of that off the top just for getting the minerals to the market. Unless they have plans for the minerals, then they might use it to build something. The 10% though usually ends up going to the Corp to take care of the offices, to take care of any books, skill books, or other things they offer low SP new members. And then some of it may go to the Orca pilot for being out there, because of course if an Orca pilot is out there, he's not mining, he's not making any ISK for himself. And 10%, if you've got enough miners out there and he gets maybe 5 to 8% of that percent, then it'll be as if he was out there mining. So he's giving you 55% increase to your yield, and all they're asking for is about 18% of your total yield. I think that's pretty reasonable, and that's what you can get from a good high-sec mining corporation. Good boosts, good yield, ops where members are expected to get something at the end of it, and in the end the members benefit from it because they're going to get more ISK for their time and effort, they're not going to be forced to haul for themselves, and they'll be able to spend more time in the belts because the Orca's taking care of the logistics of everything for them, and earn more ISK in the end. The corporation, taking that 10% from their members, benefit from the members. The Orca pilot benefits, the corporation benefits with being able to continue to offer the services that they're offering their members. So everyone benefits in the end, and for that there would be no reason why you would think that a corporation couldn't offer you something, or you couldn't offer your corporation something, even if you're in something as small as a venture. You don't have to be in a coveter to be able to offer something. 55% of a venture yield is still 55%. You know, the amount of ISK might not be that much, but it's more than you would have without it, and on the Corp's end, it's going to be more than they would have without it. So there wouldn't be any reason why you would turn down a potential corporation based on how much you think they're going to be able to offer you and how much you're going to be able to offer them. As long as they report having a good max yield Orca pilot, then it's totally going to be worth it, as long as that pilot is available during your game times. And if the Corp is big enough, they might have more than one during, available during different time zones to help out members. And that's the way I would run an Empire Corp myself, to be honest. It's going to be absolutely as fair as it possibly can be, and everyone benefits from it in the end. So what about nullsec? I mean, everyone realizes nullsec is everything's better than nullsec, supposedly. Everything's scarier than nullsec, but everything there's better asteroids. But you also get a Roikel. You can't get Roikels in Empire, but lowsec and nullsec, that's their domain. So what kind of boost can a Roikel pilot give you? Well, a max boost Roikel pilot that isn't in siege mode, because siege mode actually burns heavy water, it isn't that impressive. If you watch, we got 2759. If I switch to the Roikel while he doesn't have a siege running, it actually drops a little bit, 2619. But you have to realize when you're in nullsec, it's difficult to take an Orca from Empire to null. Requires wormholes or just simply building it out there. So they're a lot less common. Roikels can be built in lowsec and jumped anywhere in the game, or they can be built in nullsec as well. But they're easier to get around, and they're easier to bring into a system and give boosts to members than an Orca is. So you'll more commonly see Roikels out there. When they do give you boosts, though, watch this. 19, bam, 3165. So we're talking about your base yield being 1777. With a max Orca, you're getting 2759. And then you look at a Roikel, 3165. So let's do the math on that. I think it'd be pretty impressive. What am I doing? Alright. So 1777. Oops. Was it 3165
the asteroid
by 1777. A 78% boost to your yield. That
asteroid is defeated.
Is insane. Think about that. It's like almost having a whole nother ship sitting next to you mining. 3/4 of it. It's almost like having a coveter with a max yield and then have a retriever sitting right next to you, also mining, right into your ore hold, giving you all his ISK. That's pretty awesome. And of course, the boosts of a cycle time and range go up as well. If you see here, we went from, if I go back down to the Orca, this column here, it says optimal. That's 26 kilometers. you switch that up to Oracle, and woo, 29 kilometers. I don't even know if this tune can lock that far. Let's see what my locking range is. My locking range is 27 kilometers. And I've got long range targeting, I think, to 4. Let's see what I got here. Yeah, targeting. I've got my long range targeting to 4. So I'd probably have to get that to 5 just to be able to lock as far as I could potentially mine. And this is a tune that's been around for a while, a couple years. So I don't have the skills to potentially make the best benefit of the max Oracle pilot, just because I'm not going to be able to lock out to 29 kilometers. But that's awesome that you can do that. And in nullsec, you kind of need to be able to do that because the sites are built differently than the ones you see in Empire. They're kind of a bit spread out. The asteroids will have way more units in it. A nullsec asteroid can take anywhere from 25 minutes to well over an hour. Sometimes it could take multiple miners multiple hours. It just depends on which plex you're talking about, which asteroid in those plexes. Should be the last jettison can I get. So huge benefits to being out in nullsec. Of course you're gonna earn more ISK purely because you're in nullsec. The ores are all there, all the ores in the game, so you can pick which ones you want to mine. But also, if you've got a max Oracle bonus, then you're making 76% more for your time and effort being out there than if you were, without the bonuses. That's all about finding a good corporation that has access to heavy water and a max bonus Oracle. But that usually isn't that difficult to find. The corporations I ran and directed, I was given boosts, and it was ridiculous how much ISK we were capable of making. That could mean you need fewer miners to maintain industry indexes, which means everyone makes more ISK. Turn to Joan Bay.
Warp drive.
So I've got one more asteroid belt to visit, and then I'm done. So nullsec is definitely someplace where the ISK potential is there, and even a player-run, well-run industrial corp in Empire is definitely something worth looking into. You're always going to be able to offer them something. They're always going to be able to offer you something when they've got Orca boosts available. Wouldn't be any reason not to join a corporation that's active that can give boosts. Even if you're just in a venture, you're sitting around tooling around in your venture, you're going to benefit from that corporation. So I hope you thought this was interesting, and you're thinking about getting out of that NPC corp, or you're getting out of that mission running corp, that corp that isn't giving you any real Orca boosts, or that giving it to you often enough. Or maybe the tune you realize that's giving it isn't giving you the best ones you potentially could get, and you look for a corporation that maybe offers you more income for your time and effort. So thank you guys for watching. If you thought this was helpful or useful, then please like the video. Helps me out a lot. Thanks for hanging out with me, and you have a very nice day.